Hey folks, David Stewart here. Feeling homo? Well, you should eat at Chipotle. How about this? Why don't you eat at Burger Queer? This is real, by the way. This is actually real. Burger King changes the logo to Burger Queer to honor Pride Month. It used to be Gay Pride. Now it's just Pride in general. Pride is one of the 7 deadly sins, guys. White power Skittles, because the only rainbow that matters during Pride. Keep in mind the rainbow was a symbol of God, that he wasn't going to destroy the world by flood. Not that he wouldn't destroy the world again, but he wouldn't do it by water. LGBTQ. Let's grab beers tonight, queens. So, yeah, what are we talking about here? This is I don't think they thought this one through. Groom with pride. Get your grooming. Engage in grooming. Here's the thing about the corporate blah that they do every June at this point for Pride Month. It used to be like Gay Pride Parade on a certain day. Then it was like Gay Pride Week. And then it's just Pride Month, the whole month of this. At this point, people like to point out that it's this very hollow virtue signaling from large mega corporations. They put a rainbow flag behind their logo on Twitter, and they put up a bunch of posts about gay pride or something like that. But I actually don't think it's just SJW lip servicing. I don't think it's just hollow virtue signaling, that is. So people point out like, oh yeah, this mega corporation really cares about the gays. Well, I think the PR departments do care about this kind of stuff because they tend to get infected by your basic corporate cancer, which is where you have leftists will infiltrate your company primarily through HR, but also through things like advertising and PR, because that's where the arts majors, etc., tend to congregate, and they hire their friends, and they hire people like them. Once they get into HR, they start wanting to make hiring decisions about what kind of people should work in the company. All of this has been detailed in Corporate Cancer by Vox Day, which I've reviewed on the channel and talked about, so you can look at it if you want more details. But what I actually think is going on here, besides the people who are actually doing this being quite sincere about it, is it's not so much virtue signaling as it is showing your support for the party. Whenever you are in a fascist system, if you're a corporation existing in the fascist system in some sort of symbiosis with the fascist state, it's very important that you continually and frequently proclaim your loyalty to the party that's in power. That's one of the ways that you are able to avoid punishment from the party that's in power. So I think that one of the things that's influencing PR regarding Pride Month is that you have to do it, or else you will get mobs of people creating negative public relations things for you. So if you don't put a rainbow flag behind your logo, you're going to have a bunch of people circulating a bunch of nonsense online about what a hateful, evil company you are and how you're homophobic. Basically, you didn't pay lip service to the party that's in power, which means you were on the outs. And it's very important to not be on the outs. And if you're just in the PR department, and let's say you're a normal, sane individual, and you look at it, it's like, well, if we don't put a rainbow flag behind our logo, no one will give us any brownie points. No one will say we're good for proclaiming, like Skittles does, white power. No one will say we're good for standing up for the 2% of people who have different sexual preferences from everybody else. We're not going to get kudos. Not only that, but we're going to get a lot of dogpiling on Twitter or something like that. Meanwhile, the people who don't like Pride, the people who object to this kind of stuff or find it distasteful, aren't going to change their consumer spending habits at all. They're not going to boycott Chipotle. Conservatives don't boycott anything. This is one of the reasons why I tend to think boycotts are not very effective. It's because, especially with conservatives, they don't really follow through with them. They don't organize a large enough group of consumers to pick alternatives, and they don't really follow through with it. Starbucks can come out with a statement tomorrow about how all white people should commit suicide, and all the white people will still go to Starbucks to drink coffee, including white Republicans, because they want to drink Starbucks. They just don't care enough about the political messaging coming from corporations to do anything about it. So you look at it from a PR perspective, we do some political messaging. We keep the crazies off our back. So there's a positive. We get a couple kudo points from them. There's a positive. And all the people who don't like it aren't really going to do anything about it. So there's very little negative. There's be a handful of people that are like, you know what? I think I'm not going to drink Starbucks anymore. I think I'm not going to drink Bud Light anymore because of this advertising thing. Now, the truth is most people aren't. They're going to keep buying Bud Light. They're going to keep drinking whatever, soda. I've got like a Coke Zero here, and I'm saying like, man, I'm probably part of that, right? It's like, so for me to think, I don't think any of them are all that sincere as a total company. I think the people that are in the departments are sincere, but they kind of have to do it. It's like you have to pay lip service you have to pay homage to the king, or he will say off with your heads. You don't want to stop being a friend of Caesar, because all Caesar has to do to end your political career is make it known that you are no longer his friend. If you're no longer friends with Augustus, you are in trouble. So that's the thing. We're in a fascistic arrangement, and so all the companies are going to line up to proclaim their allegiance to the party that has power. And right now, that's going to be the extreme social left here. And if you're in a PR department, you can see, well, there's a lot of negative if we don't do it, a lot of potential negative, very little potential negative if we ask people, are you feeling homo? And there's a tiny bit of positive. So you're just going to do it. You're just going to weigh the options and do it. So from the corporate side of it, if you're trying to concerned with like corporate branding, you're just going to do that because the optionality is better. The people who are in these departments, I think they really sincerely believe it. And let's be honest, most consumers don't care enough to change their ways, and the ones who really do care about it are probably not a big enough number to affect the bottom line. So yes, it's a hollow and empty sort of service for the entirety of June. That's how it is. That's what you get in a system where it's very important to proclaim your belief in the ideology of the party in power and avoid negative consequences. That's it for that. Leave me your thoughts down below, guys, especially with this one, which I don't think was thought through very good. And I will see you guys next time.